More than 30 years searching for answers. Chris Smith from Bedfordshire says he wants to know the truth about his father's death. He was 8 years old when his dad Raymond died of AIDS after being given blood products contaminated with hepatitis C and HIV.
He was a severe haemophiliac, which means basically if he got a bang, a bruise or a cut, he would continue to internally bleed. So there was a new wonder drug called Factor VIII, so he took this drug thinking that it was going to make his life better. And unfortunately it didn't. Along with a lot of other people, he lost his life. I've just got a bunch of hand-picked notes, so it's been a battle all the way.
More than 7,500 people in the UK contracted hepatitis C or HIV after being given imported blood products in the 1970s and 80s. More than 2,400 have died. Many families didn't talk openly about the deaths because there was little public sympathy for AIDS victims at the time.
It was easier to kind of tell people that my father died in a car crash or died of cancer because it was an easy story to tell. Mum put a brave face on. She had an 18-month son as well, my brother and myself, so she was kind of like a rock, but unfortunately when everyone else weren't around, then it was her time when she struggled. So it was really hard for her. It was kind of like the breakdown of the family in a way.
I was infected in 1987 after the birth of my first child.
Tom and I were both in our mid-30s to mid-40s with a growing family.
The inquiry into the scandal opened with a commemoration of its victims. Victims of what is widely considered to be the worst treatment disaster in the history of the NHS.
A number of these victims have lived with these issues for 30 or 40 years. It's gone through generations. This is an opportunity for the present generation to pay respect to the last generation and fulfill an obligation to the next generation. That's how they see it. It's payment of a debt and fulfilment of an obligation, and they are quite determined to see it through.
A government spokesperson told us the infected blood inquiry is a priority for the government. It is extremely important that all those that have suffered so terribly can get the answers that they've spent decades waiting for, and lessons can be learnt so that a tragedy of this scale can never happen again. Answers to questions including how and why so many people were infected with contaminated blood, and, crucially, has there been a cover-up? The inquiry is due to last at least 2 years. Chris just hopes it will finally bring justice for his dad and peace for the family. Liz Summers, ITV News.